It's Jeff Rains again, coming to you again with Foundation of Civilization. Doing my weekly roundup again. I uh, uh, I apologize up front because this is coming in a little late, but the Thanksgiving holiday uh, slowed me down with a few things, and had a great time with my family and down in Florida, and really enjoyed myself. I hope that you guys also had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope that you will. Uh, 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 have a great week upcoming. Now, so this week, oil, uh, West Texas Intermediate was up 68.08. Brent crude was down slightly, 71.84. OPEC basket was down 1.56% to 71.82. Gold was down to 26.44.93. Silver was up slightly at $30.50. The Baltic Dry Goods Exchange was up barely at 13.56. Now, I've also come across some other information on the internet, which I thought was pertinent. The the naval defleet, the U.S. Naval Fleet Tracker. And the reason why I will be focusing on the U.S. Naval Fleet is because the U.S. Navy is the primary one that provides security around the world. Of course, it's primarily security for the Western forces, but they also ensure that other nations are able to conduct their operations and their ships are able to transit where they want to go or need to go, and until there's a conflict. So my the new part of my report here, we have the Boxer ARG is in port in San Diego, along with the USS Nimitz. USS Tripoli is off the California coast. Wasp ARG is in the Eastern Atlantic. The carrier Harry S. Truman is in the Western Mediterranean. The USS Abraham aircraft carrier is in port in Klang, Malaysia. The American ARG is in Sasebo, Japan, and the USS George Washington is in Yokosuka, Japan. The Vinson CSG is in the Western Pacific. The European markets. The DAX was up for the week to 19,580.23. The FTSE was rather flat at 8287.30. The CAC 40 down slightly, 7157.31. The IBEX also down slightly to 1162.80. The Stocks 50 was down slightly to 4768.98. In the country of Georgia, 200 people were detained after talks to join the EU were suspended. They had started conducting a protest, and as a result, the government decided that they were going to detain them. Lithuania expelled Chinese diplomats, and as expected, the Chinese government expressed its displeasure with this move. European farmers continue to stage protest over taxes, new taxes, tariffs, and any bureaucracy that threaten their livelihood. It appears that the French government is about to collapse. A no confidence vote appears imminent over economic and budget policies. Ukraine is struggling to maintain its armed forces as desertion rates climb. NATO's supreme allied commander, with the conflict between Russia and the West, it's very pertinent to consider what's going on in NATO, what's being said and done amongst these people and organizations. And NATO's supreme allied commander uh, of transformation, Admiral Pierre Van Dier, warned Europe needs to take more risks, spend more, be faster, and cut bureaucracy to win the new global arms race. He cited the weak spots included space, IT, and military mobility. Poland's Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, warned that the war with Russia is entering a decisive phase. And he is very concerned because if Russia decides to turn against the West and NATO, Poland is one of the nations that will feel the immediate wrath, and if and they, I I feel bad for the Polish people. Over in Asia, the Nikkei was down last week to 38,000 051.77. The SSE index was up to 3328.48. The Hang Seng index was up to 1942.31. The BSE Sensex was down to 79,733.46. The Nifty 50 was down this week to 24,031.85. China amazingly discovered the largest gold deposit worth an estimated $83 billion in the Hunan province, which this is very good, very very helpful for the Chinese economy because they are in a serious debt crisis. The China has been hiding a lot of their debt with the local provinces. The central government is trying to restructure some of that debt uh, carried by the local provinces. The trouble is that the local provinces don't have the ability to issue taxes. All they can do is sell land. And when there's no more land to sell, what are they going to do? They will be in trouble. They will have a significant amount of trouble. And right now, the debt load equates to about 50% of the Chinese economy at about $8 trillion. Fortunately, also, China's association with Russia is not only helping Russia resupply its military, it's helping the Chinese advance its submarine fleet, unfortunately for the West. Down in India, the economy slowed to 5.4%, which is much lower than the expected 7% growth or the observed 10% pre-COVID. In the Middle East, we were fortunate that Israel and Lebanon have executed a ceasefire agreement, but as usual in the middle with a ceasefire in the Middle East, it is holding tentatively, and sporadic attacks are occurring as opposed to coordinated operations. In Yemen, U.S. Navy forces destroyed Houthi missiles and drones that were targeting Western ships in the Gulf of Aden. In a surprise move, immediately after the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon, uh, Syrian jihadists launched a new assault in Syria, and they captured several cities in the province of Aleppo. And it appears, if they have not already done so, they will take the city of Aleppo also. An estimated 182 people have been killed, but fighting is ongoing. The jihadists are backed by Turkey, fighting against the government-led forces, which are led by Russia and Iran. In Africa, Chad has terminated its defense cooperation with its former colonial ruler, France. Mali's government, military forces, struck Tuareg rebels and killed 8 in the town of, and I may pronounce this incorrectly, so please, I apologize, uh, Tinzea, Tinzaoatin, in the north of the country, in the north of Mali. Landslides in Uganda killed 20 people. In Nigeria, 27 people were confirmed dead and hundreds still missing after a boat on the Niger River capsized carrying people to the food market. Now, in the Americas, the first up the markets, the Dow Jones average uh, ended the week at 44,910.65, up. Uh, it was up for the week. The S&P 500 was up also at 6,032.38. The Nasdaq was up 19,216 7.17. Down in Brazil, police unsealed a report about the previous president, along with 36 of his supporters, as they plotted for him to remain in office. In Mexico, 8 people died when gunmen opened fire on a roadside stand in the town of Paseo El Grande in the state of Guanajuato. Guanajuato. Now, the incoming administration threatens to issue new tariffs on Mexico and Canada if they fail to help the U.S. protect their borders, the U.S. borders, and Canada and Mexico's borders. The Mexican president officially denounced the threat of tariffs, but she is struggling with an internal security problem because the drug cartels hold significant power and have killed officials regularly. The incoming admin's threat of tariffs actually give the Mexican president top cover in dealing with this issue. Uh, in in response to the threat of tariffs, uh, in, in the response to the threat of tariffs, according to activists, 2 migrant caravans have already been broken up. U.S. jobs markets show significant weakness. Tariffs will likely significantly impact the economy if they end up being implemented. Job revisions downward of 100,000 per month are likely. We've seen that over the past few years as the Bureau of Labor Statistics go through and analyze the jobs market. They tend to reduce the amount of jobs that were created. The transition from the current U.S. administration to the new administration will likely cause some short-term growing pains, and equity markets appear to be overvalued based on the CAPE ratio and the Buffett indicator. And a warning from PC Mag, they note that Chinese hackers are still working in the U.S. Computer networks. So keep up your vigilance, keep up your software. And as I expected, the current U.S. president gave an unprecedented pardon to his son. It's unprecedented because he gave him a pardon for any crime he committed from 2014 to 2024. This this shows us a few things. One, it shows us the absolute corruption of the current U.S. political system. Unfortunately, most political systems devolve into that situation over time. It shows us that the crimes that people asserted that he had committed, um, uh, his opponents asserted that he had committed, many of those well documented on his laptop, they were true. He was accepting bribes from foreign governments. Also, this shows that our intelligence agencies are completely inept. They should have been going through and being able to stop this kind of activity from going on, but instead, they covered up for these crimes to ensure that the current president was able to get into office. Now, I want to go back to one thing that's going on. That's the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Uh, I should have noted in here, as I went through Europe, that Russia's stock market has been struggling. It hit well, it hit a huge downturn this past week. That that is usually an indicator of the world's big money uh, expecting a significant conflict or a turn in the conflict. And they're pulling their money out of Russia right now. Now, whether that's a smart move or not, I don't know, but um, it's an indicator that they think something is about to come, something is about to happen. This does not help the Russian economy, and the the other problem is that when economies turn south, the leaders tend to turn to war. They've got to divert the attention of their followers, of their people, and so they They do whatever is possible uh, 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 to refocus people's attention. Um, Considering that Vladimir Putin is a dictator who plans to retain power, that is something that is likely to happen. Of course, he's already got a conflict already made that's been ongoing. All he has to do is just, reignite the fire and or fan the flames of the fire, I should say. The he's already shown us that he has weapon systems that can be that are a very serious threat for the United States. And so far, the current administration of the in the U.S. does not appear to be interested in peace. The incoming administration, though, has spoken a great deal about peace, and it looks like he that they are very serious and they have plans. They've actually started floating some ideas for a peace plan, which I sincerely hope can be implemented. Uh, so. Uh, Let me just wrap this up for this week and let you know that I appreciate your support. You guys continuing to follow me, and like I said, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful upcoming week. And I will try to stay on top of all of this as the chaos of the holidays slows down for me. Thanks again. Much love to everybody, and y'all have a wonderful time. Prepare for the changes and the challenges that are coming ahead for everybody. Thanks again, Jeff Rains with Foundation of Civilization, signing off.